Because when you enter supermarkets, I keep saying it, 80%, I don't know the numbers, but 80%, 75% of what we have in the supermarkets is imported. So that gives you the answer in itself. We still import a lot, and yet we grow a lot. The secret was the passion met the money. We did not have a lot of money, but even the little money that I got and the one that we made from the revenues that we had met very like massive passion. I loved it.
Hello there. My guest this week on the Long Form podcast is Sharon Akanyana. Sharon is the founder and managing director of Ishyo Foods, a local agro-processing company that manufactures yogurt and jams. We shall discuss her own journey, the challenges she's overcome to build a successful business, and her future ambitions for Ishyo Foods. Before this episode starts, I want to make a deal with you. About 85% of you who watch this podcast frequently haven't yet hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy what we do here, here's the deal I want to make with you. If you hit that subscribe button, I promise you that we will keep making the show better and better in every single way. I hope you choose to come along with us on this journey. Now let's get into the show. Sharon, welcome to the Long Form.
Thank you, Sunny. Thanks for having me.
So, first of all, I just want to complain about something. I see we have water. I wish you had brought some of that delicious yogurt. It's actually one of my favorites. Especially the mango one. There's a yogurt that you guys do at Ishyo Foods. Amazing. It's an amazing product. I wish you had actually brought some so that we can actually start by maybe cheersing and
have them as dessert. Yeah, after lunch.
Exactly.
Next time, surely. But thanks for loving our products.
No, it's an amazing product, and I'm personally very proud of the fact that that's actually a made in Rwanda product. And I'm also very proud that it's yours.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you and I, we kind of know each other. So I've known you for almost 2 decades.
True.
Yeah, I think
20 years.
Yeah, that's a long time. So the first time I met you, I think you were still in Nisedi Kigali. You're about to finish. All those years back, did you ever imagine that you become an entrepreneur?
To be honest, no, not at all. I had always wanted to be, what then? A doctor?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'd always wanted to be a doctor. Entrepreneurship is nothing that had ever crossed my mind. But yeah, here I am.
So you wanted to be a doctor, but that's not what you became. Do you like the version of you that exists today, or do you sometimes think back and say, I really wish that other dream, that childhood dream of being a doctor, had actually happened?
So yeah, I had always wanted to be a doctor. It's why I did biology and chemistry as my majors in high school. And yeah, I even had one of my uncles bought me the, what do they call it, the overall. It every year for the doctors. So I had that when I was going to campus. I was on government scholarship. I had all the hope that I was going to do medicine, but when I got there were lots of other students who had qualified for not just government scholarship, but they were also very, very smart. That's how I ended up not doing medicine. But yeah, thankfully I did agriculture, which is kind of related to what I do now. And yeah, looking back, would I have made a good doctor? I don't know. I don't fear blood, so maybe I would have become a good doctor. But yeah, here I am today.
So you are many things to many people. You're a wife, you're a daughter, you're a sister, you're a mom, you're a friend, and you're a boss. Now, for students of the former National University of Rwanda, of a certain age bracket, you are something else. People like me, for them, you are known not as Sharon, the entrepreneur, or maybe you're known as more than Sharon, the entrepreneur. You're known as the very first Miss Miss
Campus.
Miss Campus. Miss Campus. That was what, 2005. I remember because I was really excited. I think I was one of those who voted for you.
Thank you. I don't know why you're bringing that up now.
No, it's a wonderful story. It's I think one of the things that happens in life, right, is that someone's life journey doesn't just end up here. You know, you go through different paths, right? So you wanted to be a doctor. You ended up doing agriculture. You did a little bit of pageantry, but now you're a businesswoman. There are people who will think I think there's sometimes a negative perception of beauty and brains, right? And then they think, oh, if you're this, you cannot be this. And I think that that you're a good example of someone being more than one thing. But I just wanted to ask you, like, when I brought it up, you kind of smiled.
I was like,
do you kind of think back to those times when you're much younger then, you know, Miss Campus, the very first one, you become like almost like a campus celebrity. Do you kind of look back to those times and just laugh to yourself and say, wow, I've had quite a journey?
You're right. Yeah, when I look back at it, I'm like, how did I get there? What was I thinking? But anyway, that time, there were no contests. There was no all the modeling and asking you all those questions in front of a crowd. It was called Inkera Yabahizi. Then I thought, okay, this was good. And the organizer was like, Sharon, there's no way of going around this. You have to do this. It was Inkera Yabahizi, and they were going to select the best basketball player, those who have gotten the best grades and everything. And there was also that thing of Nyampinga. And I was there. Following day, it was in the news, it was in the newspapers. What was the newspaper then? And yeah, but looking back then, it gave me exposure. It gave me to be part of different school associations as part of SAGIPS, which was an association for students who are willing to be entrepreneurs. A friend of mine interested me into joining it. So such things, I'm grateful for them that I was able to get that exposure and be part of very useful associations.
It must have been, I wonder, because very often there's a thought that Rwandan parents are very strict. They would never allow their girl to do this. I can imagine, what was the conversation that you had with, because obviously you probably talked to your parents and informed them of what was going on. What was their reaction like when you told them that, oh, by the way, this might be happening?
I don't know if I should say it now, but I did not consult them.
Oh, wow.
Those are really bad manners. The next morning, my mom was calling me, what has happened? What have you done? But I don't know how to say it. I did not go into it for a bad reason. And the exposure is good. It can be bad exposure sometimes. But for the good things about it, yeah, just grasp them. I've seen all these young ladies who have done the contest and even won all the Miss Rwandas. I think they're doing amazing things. And I'm sure they don't just get there without getting consent. As a parent now, I know it can be hard. But it depends on how convincing you are and what you want to get out of it. And it's not always bad. Yeah, so I don't look at it in a bad way.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing, right? Is that there's good and bad in anything. And I guess fundamentally it's about how you leverage that position, right? Because if you you say that you had a good experience because you leveraged that position for positive things. And I just remember it was such an interesting time because, of course, there had never been beauty pageants at all in the country, especially after 1994, right? So I remember it was so exciting. They're in campus. They're like, wow, we're having this for the first time, and it's. I think when you look back at it, and I was looking at some of the old pictures from that time, and you're like, wow, we've really come from far,
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about some of what happens after campus, right? So you graduated with a bachelor's degree in agriculture with an emphasis on crop production, which is interesting, especially with where you are now. And then you did another one, a master's in development studies. So I want to ask, when you first graduated from university, did you plan to start your own business, or had you kind of thought, like most people, I'll graduate, I either get a job in a project or government or in someone else's business? Were you an entrepreneur from the beginning, or you kind of became an entrepreneur because life happened?
So like I told you, while at campus, I was part of the association for students who are interested in entrepreneurship. So with that, we had this one tour. It was actually funded by PSF. We went to India.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for an exhibition that was happening. And then looking back, one thing that really opened my mind to entrepreneurship was the way Asians, and in particular Indians, start business in their own home, micro business, and then it grows from there. So that was the first,
flicker that light. That you're like, huh.
Yeah, huh. And then the other one is, and then also while at campus, I had different part-time jobs, consultancies, but in the area of rural development, which is something I'm very passionate about. Yeah, and also, so while I was working at it was an international development agency. I don't know why chalk came into my mind.
Chalk?
Chalk. I was going to sell chalk. I don't know. I was going to sell chalk. I was also in talks with people who were going to give it to me in Nairobi. But I got it up to Kigali. Yeah.
How much chalk did you? Okay, so
I did not sell a box. I didn't.
Wait. So let's go slowly, because that's so interesting. So chalk. Why chalk?
To be honest, Sunny, I don't know. I don't know how chalk came.
Yeah.
But I imported it, brought it.
How much where did you get the money from? You're a student, right?
I was working as a student that was working. I was actually earning money, yeah.
Okay, so like how much do you remember how much you spent on that chalk?
Maybe 500,000 then.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's almost $1,000 at that time. So you
then, wait a bit. After that, I'm also passionate, maybe looking back from when I was a child. My mom is very good at cooking, and also other members of the family, they're passionate about food and turning it into, family experience, and not just food, but tasty food. So after that, I thought about ice cream.
So chalk, and then wait. Then ice, okay.
Then ice cream. For the ice cream, I had dreams about it, good dreams about it, aspirations. I even went to the extent of giving money to someone who was going to send me an ice cream making machine. Went to UTC that time. There was what do they call it? The money transfer. So it's I've forgotten the money transfer. I sent them money.
The MoneyGram, was it MoneyGram or is it Western Union?
Western Union.
Yes.
Gave this guy that I was chatting with on the internet.
Did you know who he was?
No, I did not. I gave him money.
How much was it?
Maybe $300 for an ice cream making machine. And so then as soon as I sent it, called him, the phone was off. Yeah, that was business idea number 2. went down.
So business idea number one, you actually imported the chalk.
Yes.
So you have about $1,000 worth of chalk.
500 about.
No, it was. You said 500K.
It wasn't It wasn't 1 million then.
No, because at the time, because this would have been what, when you were still a student. So right, that's what, 2008, 2009, 2010. A dollar at the time was about maybe 700, 800 francs.
Then, yeah.
So if you say that you spent about 500,000 Rwandan francs, you're talking about $700, $800. That's a lot of chalk. At least this one, did it actually get into the country?
It did get into the country. Marketed it to a school owner that I know, that I knew. But somehow, then I got a job around then I got a job, focused on that and forgot about the...
So where was this? Because that's a lot of chalk. Like you think about it.
It ended up there. Someone sold it to someone. It wasn't me.
Oh no.
It was a bad business idea, I think.
But it was obviously not a bad one because someone did sell it. Just unfortunately, it wasn't you. So that happened. That's still when you're still a student. You haven't yet graduated, right?
Not yet.
Okay. Then idea number two, the ice cream idea, which I think is actually very brilliant. The execution though was not
wasn't very thought of.
But I guess if you think about those times, we did not really think that there were thieves on the internet. Right? I feel like those. So we can laugh about it now, but I feel like you shouldn't be too hard on yourself because people did crazy things on the internet those days. We did not know what we're doing. So that's idea number two. You've still not graduated.
Not yet.
Okay. So here's the question. When you did graduate, when did the idea of business come in? Or did you graduate and still think, okay, I'm going to try to look for a job here?
After I graduated, like I told you, I was working for development agencies. And that time I was working for another one. Worked there for about 11 months, I think. Then...
did you enjoy it?
I did, big time. I was working with fun people, good people. And it's an area I also enjoy. I do enjoy working on rural development. Yeah. And also, so 11 months, then got pregnant with my son. Got pregnant with my son, got very sick, and decided to stop working.
And which year was that?
That was around 2012.
Okay.
Stopped working, and after I had my son, I had 4 years where I did not have a job.
Stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, I was a stay-at-home mom. But looking back then, those were golden years for me because I had a lot of time, not just to look after my son, but also but I was also looking for jobs. But I had a lot of time to, like I told you, I'm passionate about beverage and foods. I also like to cook. I was making things, my son, my children. I had my daughter after that also, who was very bad at eating, liked a particular yogurt that was imported, that was very, very expensive. Started making my own yogurt with a lot of time. Had a lot of time that I'm calling gold now.
So who's teaching you how to make these things?
Reading. Like I told you, I did agriculture. We had a food science, food technology course. But also coupled with research, the internet. My mom makes things. And yeah, my first product that I made in our kitchen was yogurt. Added fruit that I saw. I was like, this can actually work.
How easy is it to make? Can someone like me, who's not an expert, right? I'm not an expert at cooking. I'm not terrible, but I'm not an expert. Is it something that anyone can make in their home?
I think it's something that's
like,
even in our culture. It's chivuguto.
Okay.
My mother-in-law makes the best chivuguto. Yogurt is chivuguto.
Yeah.
So the different thing is I put it in a jar or in a cup and put it onto the shelf or on the fridge.
So
the
you
science behind that, but yeah, it's easy.
Yeah. And so you were making all this yogurt for your children. Now, but you're still also looking for a job,
I'm still looking for a job.
right? So 4 years, you're looking, you said what, a couple of years, you're looking for a job. So when do you decide to pivot in your life, right? Where do you say that, you know what, I've done this 4 years, listen, I'm going to try something different? Is that like a decision you actively make? Like, you know what, I'm done with this, let me try this? Or do you kind of end up in this sector of yogurt making and all this somehow almost like by mistake? Was it like a plan, like you sat down and said, okay, I'm not going to look for work anymore, I'm going to be self-employed, this is my plan, this is my business plan? Or were you just kind of like, let me do this, Bariko, I'm still looking for work?
To be honest, that's why passion matters a big time. Because I liked it. Even just looking at the yogurt that I had made, put in fruit, the children were liking it. I did not say I'm going to stop looking for a job. To be honest, also, again, I was going to do them both. I was going to still make yogurt and also look for a job.
For your children, though, not like as a business?
No, because after that, when the children liked it, my husband tried and liked it, family and friends liked it, and they're the ones who encouraged me to, look, this is very nice, why don't you take it to the market and see what happens? So I did. Unfortunately, very fortunately, I'm very thanks to the lady that owned the supermarket near home. I approached her, please sell this. That time it was jam. Gave her a couple of jam jars for me, please sell for me. She was like, it's okay, no need for EBM, no need for the S mark and everything. She was like, bring, let me sell for you. And the moment I got my first customer, because she said, bring, I'll sell for you, and when they move, we'll pay you. So from the moment I saw that one person is buying, two people are buying, three, everything is finished, and I was like, this could actually move. But I continued working.
But when you think about the word Ishyo Foods, right, as a business, it's not just a business, it's also a brand, right, that now people have gotten used to. The jam that you first took to that supermarket, was it under that brand, Ishyo?
Yes.
Now, the name, where did it come from? The design, how does it move from just something in your head to something that is packaged? You have flavors, you have some kind of production line, you've done some design, like how does that happen? It's not just a natural process.
So Ishyo Foods started in 2017. Like I told you, I was at home with my children, and the name, I was looking for the main product was yogurt. I was looking for a name that related with yogurt, milk, cows, but that was also short and precise and easy to remember. So that's how the name came. And you also asked how did it materialize from just an idea to product and brand. Then in 2017, same year, we were like, so my kitchen was our production area for a year. With just me and another lady that was helping me around. And it was jam making, it was a lot of getting burnt, with jars around and the children.
So it's just, most people will not understand what that even looks like, right? So is it just normal saucepans and fruit and I guess sugar, and then you just.
It's no more saucepan, no more fire, no more mwiko, sugar and everything. It was just a few jars. For me to actually see this happens, take it to the market, and when they bought them, it was from a couple of fruits, a couple of kilograms of fruits, 5, 10 the following time, 15 kilograms the following week, until it became a process and earning money. But the main idea was yogurt. My husband was very good enough to trust into a product and test it and actually see that this is possible. While I was thinking of buying maybe a 50 liters pasteurizer, I was like, let's buy 300 liters. I was like, no. I was like, yes. We imported them. When they go to Majergwa, I had not planned very well the taxes and everything. So it made us, even though the original plan was yogurt, we started jam in 2017 and the yogurt came 3 years after. We actually started the yogurt in 2021. And now it's 95% sells yogurt and 4% jam.
Now, it's always interesting for me to hear like this kind of journey, and you're talking about starting with 5 kilos of fruit, and then going to 10, and then going to 15. I think what you're saying is so important, because a lot of people, when they're thinking about starting something, it's almost like their dreams and their ambitions stop them, because they're like, oh my goodness, how will I get to that? And then they get scared and they think, like this is not going to be possible for me. I think it's so important for people to hear your story, because you built it from the ground up, right? You did one sale, you took a couple of fruits, sale number 2, sale number 3, sale number 4. I'm kind of interested, and the reason I keep asking you these questions is because I feel that there's so many farmers here in Rwanda, and we always talk about that thing of like getting us from primary to processing, and you will hear farmers in a certain place complain that we harvest tomatoes, they go bad. Other farmers will say we have this, they go bad, because we're just trying to sell the fruit. And your story of how you created this company will maybe give an inspiration for someone else to think, okay, all I need is a few saucepans and a flame and and a few kilos of sugar, and I can do something, I can build something, I can offer something to the public. Because I think that, and maybe this is where I'll ask, is I think that there is still room for products like yours. Is that how you feel? That the room is there?
There is. Because when you enter supermarkets, I keep saying it, maybe 80%, I don't know the numbers, but 80%, 75% of what we have in the supermarkets is imported. So that gives you the answer in itself. We still import a lot, and yet we grow a lot. We grow a lot of fruits and vegetables. Those are in my area. And what doesn't get sold and gets finished, where does it end up
it's spoiled.
Yeah, it gets spoiled. So there's still a lot of opportunity. I think there is still a lot of opportunity. And like you were saying, it depends on what product you want to make. But sometimes all you have to do is make, get customers to buy your first one. It can be a processor, it can be a cooperative of farmers. And just extend its shelf life. I mean, that's the difference between strawberries that are in a market that are waiting to be bought and strawberry jam that's in a jar and waiting. It does not only add value, and also generate income for the processor or the farmers, and also the economy of the country. So that we import less and yeah. So for me, it's a lot, but also a lot is involved. Money, you cannot do without money. You can do without money. There's a lot you can do without money, but there's a stage you cannot reach without money. But also standards, very important, especially in the food sector.
But you also said that your first sales did not have all those things. And I think obviously you, of course, you have to have, because it's food, right? So you have to make sure that like it's clean food. But I like the idea that anyone can, as you said, extend the shelf life of the food, right? Those little things that we can do just to increase money in people's pockets. So I said, I'm a fan of your yogurt. My children, listen, love, 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 love. Especially the two that I think they love the most. It's the mango one, with the fresh mango, and they also love with the fresh strawberry. Personally, I'm more of the pineapple one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have
they tried the probiotic?
I don't know what that means. I literally see it and I'm like, probiotic. Maybe now you have a chance. What's a probiotic? What does that mean?
Probiotic is good bacteria, but when you say bacteria, people associate with bad.
Yeah.
It's good bacteria that makes you your gut more healthy. It also increases your immune system is stronger, improves your gut health, stomach health. So for people who have, it's not a medicine. Yeah, but it's healthy. It's good to have it.
So you mean in normal yogurt there's no good bacteria?
There is good bacteria in every yogurt.
So then what's the difference?
But only for the probiotic yogurt, we've increased the number of probiotics in it.
Okay. So doesn't it mess up with the taste?
No, not at all. You haven't tested it?
No. Why would I've told you. At my big age, I'm not going to try new things when I know I like what I like.
There's probiotic in all the yogurt and chivuguto. But with the yogurt that's labeled probiotic yogurt, the amount of probiotics in it is a little bit more.
So on a taste test, like, right? So I've traveled quite a bit in the world. I've traveled Asia, traveled in Africa, traveled in Europe, North America. I have tasted the different things from all those continents, those different countries. And I would wager and say that if you were to do a blind taste test, the yogurt that you're producing, even some of the jams that you're producing could, I think, compete favorably with any of those big ones over there. Those big brands over there.
Thank you, Sunny.
You're welcome. So with that in mind, with kind of like where you are today, when you look back to where you started in 2013, just how proud do you feel of where Ishyo Foods and Sharon Akanyana have reached? How proud do you feel?
Well, how do they say it? Sometimes I pinch myself and is this really happening?
Yeah.
Very, very grateful to God, number one, and also, we put in a lot of work, the resources and everything, but very, very grateful to our customers. When one customer buys, recommends to their friend or to their family, and those other ones do the same, it's how the brand gets to be known. And so, how do I feel? Very blessed.
And when you think about it, right? So you start this thing in your kitchen. Obviously, I'm hopeful that you're not still doing it in your kitchen. All right. So you started with almost probably what I would call 0 people, right? Just you and maybe the person who was helping you at home. Today, how many people work for you now?
We started as 2, and now we are about 25 permanent and about 20 casual. Altogether 40.
So about 40 people. And of course, you're buying, I assume you're buying stuff from farmers, right? And the farmers obviously have to bring their produce to you. So those are also transporters. So you could actually find perhaps that you're probably providing employment just for you for 200 plus people, which in a country like ours, that's a big deal. If it's not a secret, right? Because you've said that you've spent quite a bit getting to where you are. Maybe help us understand the scale of what you do, right? Because what is the scale? How much are you producing on a daily basis of, say, for example, probiotic yogurt? How much are you producing? The machines that you had to, obviously it's not you in the kitchen. I'm assuming there's some level of automation. So, and just to fulfill this market, there has to have been a certain level of investment in equipment so that you can reach a certain level of production. So what kind of quantities are you now hitting of different products?
So yeah, in 2017, we were still at home for about a year. And 2018, we had to move. Why? Because we wanted our products to be certified by the Rwanda Standards Board. So that's why we moved. We would have decided to stay there. We still had room in terms of quantity of what to be able to produce. We could have stayed there for a few months. But we decided to move because we needed to be, thanks to my family, for them allowing me to turn the kitchen into a small plant there. But yeah, right now, beginning of this year, we're making about 2,000 liters of milk per week, and now we're making 6,000, and yeah, growing every year. But what got us there was a lot of sacrifice, dedication, not just for me. I had the passion and everything. But yeah, even just people who believe in you. Like I told you, my husband, he paid the rent of our employees for 4 years. The rent of where we're working from and the salary of the people we're working with.
So you were not making money?
I wasn't, to be honest, that time. Like any other, like many businesses that are starting, you don't, depends on what business again, but we weren't making money.
Yeah. But you were selling.
We were selling. Yeah, we were selling, but there was a lot. Again, to reach the quality that you like, there's a lot that goes in. There's a lot of research. There's a lot of human resource, people who help you get to where you want to be. There's a lot of money, capital. That's why I had my husband put in all his money. Thanks for being patient. That's when the grants come in. People have different thoughts on grants. But yeah, all of that.
But the hardest thing, I think, you can have all the money in the world, but you still fail to, it still fails to work. But then obviously you found something that worked. What would you say was the secret?
The secret was the passion met the money. We did not have a lot of money, but even the little money that I got and the one that we made from the revenues that we had met very like massive passion. I loved it.
Like you loved. I wonder just how.
So when passion and dedication and the little money comes, I think it produces something big.
So let's imagine that I have all the passion now. I have passion, I have dedication, I have love, I'm ready to work. do you remember, let's say, to get yourself to at least the takeoff phase, right? Do you remember what kind of money you were looking at just to get you to that level where now the business could kind of run itself? Are you talking about tens of millions? Are you talking hundreds of millions? Do you kind of remember those numbers?
It's now that I know how much money we need to get to where we want. That time my passion was at 80% and the making money was 20%, which is really bad for a business.
But then what I'm saying is like, okay, so you moved to a new space, right? To be able to be certified. That there was a rent. What was that rent like?
You know, Sunny, there are lots of young people out here, some that I know, that are making really good stuff, food that can be put in the supermarket and everything. And they've had to work hard to get the money to sustain their businesses. And there are others who have very good ideas, very good products that they've done prototypes about but do not have money. Then it dies along the way. I was privileged to be one of those who has the passion and a source of money somewhere. Yeah.
But you're not answering my question. How much money did it? Because maybe you might not be able to remember. Because I'm a farmer, right? If you had to ask me that, Sunny, how much have you invested in your farm right now? I'm not going to give you the exact number because obviously there are different things, but I can give you a ballpark, right? And I can say, you know what? If you want to go into this space, into this kind of agriculture, and you want to get to a certain level, this is what the journey will look like. So maybe if you can start from day one to maybe, so day one you're studying at small quantities, but
very small.
But you're practicing, right? You're learning the craft, you're learning marketing, you're learning how to talk to customers, receive customer feedback. Just to start, do you remember kind of what that looked like in terms of the investment that was needed?
Maybe 5 million. That was in 2018. Maybe 5 million.
Around 5 million to get the first
sufurias,
yes.
Big sufurias. Now moving from the kitchen saucepan to a bigger one, and the stoves and everything.
Staff as
and
well.
The packaging, adding the packaging, maybe 7 million.
Yeah. What was the hardest? If you think about that time, what was the hardest part? What was the hardest thing to? I mean, I guess the pots and pans are the easiest because you can literally
not making money, and you know it as the business owner, not making enough money and spending a lot. You're in losses and you're still continuing. That was the hardest.
That was the hardest. How do you have, and why did you continue? Why did your husband keep giving you money?
Because I think it's a good future in it. So potential. Yeah.
And obviously, I would assume, he had tasted the yogurt. He was like, okay, there's something here. There's something here. So you started, initial capitals about, so that includes all the equipment, that includes staff as well?
Minus we are then we're using manual processes.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that, if you're studying from the beginning, you're not going to really go into, expensive things, right? You're going to use local labor. So you're saying that it took you it was about 7 million. And what are you producing at that point? Was it yogurt? Was it just jam?
It was only jam.
Okay.
And maybe compared to yogurt, Rwandans are not so much into jam, so that's why our revenues weren't that good. But after the yogurt, now the yogurt is what gave us morale and the excitement and the hope to continue, because like I told you, 95% of our sales are yogurt. So when we started making yogurt in 2021, and that gave us the revenue and the money to keep investing and not rely on my husband's money a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks to him for trusting in us, and also the other forms of financing that we were getting. That's when we started trusting on our money from the business to keep the business running.
when you think about, if you're to, just for fun, and we're to say, give me a valuation. Imagine you were going on the London Stock Exchange, and we were, someone was to ask you, what do you think the valuation of your company is today?
Today.
What would you say?
Sales-wise, we're growing. Like I told you, we started with 2,000 liters of milk. Beginning of this year.
Is that because you don't produce milk, you produce yogurt, right?
Yeah.
So so you're producing 2,000 liters of yogurt.
We were beginning of this year per week. Now we're making 6,000 per week, which is about 1,000 per day. So that tells you, even in terms of revenue, that we have more than doubled as compared to how the year began. It's a business that's growing.
You can't complain.
Can't complain.
Thank God.
And the future is better.
Yes. And how many workers do you? Yeah, you already told me the workers. Do you remember what you paid in tax?
That time?
Yeah, no, like maybe say last year. Because then, one of the things that we always say is that, when like it's important for there to be local businesses because of employment, but also taxes that they'll pay into the country to develop the country. Would you say that you're happy with what the amounts that you're now contributing back into the treasury?
Now, yes. 2 years ago, not. Now, yes, because we have to pay our taxes. We do income tax, VAT. We do pay. Yeah, so.
Have you started paying yourself?
Yes.
When
Thanks. That's a very good question.
Right? Because I know, because one of the things with founders, right, is that you have to pay everyone, and you're always the last one to get money, to get paid, and sometimes you'll know that a business is doing well when, after years and years and years, finally the founder, the CEO, the managing director is getting a salary as well from the company, and not just saying that, you know what, I'm a volunteer. When did you first get your first salary from Ishyo Foods?
Last year.
Wow. After all those years.
I wish I had known it before. I should have given myself a salary before, even if we were making no money. Because when you don't do that, you hurt the business.
How?
Because after all, you're a human being, you're a mother, you're a wife. You spend, you need money. So when you don't give yourself a salary, you hurt the business and you hurt yourself.
Really? No, you're saying that because I find that so interesting, because no one will ever say that, right? It's almost like you're always putting yourself last, right? Because you're the one who has the big dream, right? So I think it's interesting that you've actually said that. No. Make sure you also maybe not put yourself first, but don't always put yourself last. Fantastic. I'm going to, so in 2006, there was a study by the Economic Policy and Research Network, Rwanda, which found that 50% of all SMEs fail within the first 5 years. Why hasn't Ishyo failed? What about it? What about what you did ensured that it did not die like all these other SMEs that always die? Would you say that it was something that you planned for, or were you just lucky?
Yeah, so what made us survive?
And were you lucky?
We were blessed. We were blessed, but also, like I told you, we put in a lot of work. I put in a lot of work, but it also made, so the passion and the blessing met the money, and things turned out the way they are now. How? Because if anyone needs to support you, I was saying, my husband, I've gotten grants, the company has gotten grants. When all of that comes and finds, because there's a lot that goes on in a business, One day you wake up and feel good things are moving. Another day you wake up, you're a human being, you're the founder, you need to be there for your employees, you need to make sales. Other days it's not that good.
You get
So there are lots
discouraged.
The tendency is to give up,
Yeah.
to not sell more, to ask yourself, why am I doing this? What's the point? But when the support comes, let it be from family, let it be from people who give grants, maybe loans, they need to come and find you dedicated, strong, and all of that. And especially, what plays a very, very big role, I don't want to say it, I'm pushing myself not to say it, but money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's, I like that you're honest with that, because, you can be the most passionate person. You can have the best business idea. If you do not have any kind of capital, you're dead.
You're dead.
But then there are some who have capital and then they also die. So I would like to know, like, you kind of make it seem like that anyone can be a successful business person if, you have capital, you have a level of dedication, self-sacrifice. Is that it? Is that the secret? Isn't there something else?
That's what worked for me. That's what worked for me. You're saying that people who have money but do not have the idea of the business and for it to grow and get to where they want it to be. But for me, I had passion, like I told you. I had passion, tried out the prototype, it worked, took it to the market, people loved it. And also, very important, also customers. When I found that when customers love the product that you're producing, or a service, it can be a service that you are rendering or selling, you have to keep it that way. So I think we've invested a lot in standards for the standards to be, for your products to be certified, but also the quality of your product. We invested a lot. We are not yet there. We want our customers to have the best experience and love it even more. Yeah, and all of that requires, yes, passion, a team, people to support you, your employees, you need investors, you need good money that won't hurt the business. In this case, grants, maybe zero interest or very small interest loans for the passion to come and meet the money and make things happen.
So let's get practical now. I am, let's say that I am a small fruit farmer, right? I know a lot. I personally have a few mango trees at my farm. And now let's say that I don't want to just keep selling them, right? I want to go and become, not you, because there's only one Sharon, but maybe I want to become
a juice processor,
or I want to turn that into or something, anything like that. Really just agro-processing. Like I just want to turn my thing into something more than it currently is. What if you were to be in a class full of students, right, who are trying to learn from you? Which is what now I'm the it's a class of one person. You're Professor Akanyana. What are the practical steps from step 1 to step 10 of building a successful small agro business?
What I would tell them is, yeah, you have the mangoes there. What are the students majoring in?
No, right now, I'm the student.
You're the student.
I'm the student. So I'm just a farmer who just wants to think, okay, we're at this point right now, but I think I could do more because I drink juice. I eat yogurt. I like X, Y, and Z. I like pies. But then I want to create value.
There has to be something that drives it. Either you are harvesting the mangoes and some you're selling and others are rotting. So you want to turn it into either a jam or a juice or anything. Or it could be that you want to get more money.
Yes.
Because there's more money.
Exactly. So then what's the step? What do I do? What's the first thing that I should do?
If you're a food scientist, you already have the knowledge and skills.
I'm not a food scientist.
You are not.
Yes.
I would invest in someone who knows how to make the juice.
Okay.
Yeah, big time.
So skills. Find the skills. Right? So I already have the product, right? No, the raw material. So the next phase is find a person.
Don't do it yourself. Find a person because they are there.
But you did it yourself.
Because I have the
you have the background.
I've done agriculture. I know a little bit of food science.
Okay.
But I do not do it myself now.
Yes.
I have two people who take care of that.
Yes.
Who are far better.
Okay. So that's number one. Find the right staff to create the thing that you want to create. Okay, now I've found that person. What's step number 2?
Take it to the market, get customers.
So you have to, but then, okay, so you find the staff, but obviously you have to buy the equipment, right? Right? So do we start looking for certification first, or do we try to kind of create, things in the way you did it? Just kind of like do it ourselves and then kind of grow and then need the certification? Or are you like I'm literally
okay now
right, like I need to actually know the steps.
So you have your mangoes, you've gotten someone to help you to make the juice or whatever, the product. That person is very good. You've tested it, given to a few people, they've liked it. So step number 2 is even the bank won't give you money if they haven't seen a certain level of your commitment, your contribution. In this case, it's money. You have to have at least something to help you get from that, from the laboratory or wherever you're making the juice from, to a certain level. Because when you take it to the market, which is very, very important, in this case, your customers are what will make you have money. So take it to the market, get revenues, then think of getting...
How do you take things to the market?
Go to the nearest supermarket and
just talk to them.
Yes.
So you just have to be, I guess, that level of bravery and just say, you know what? This is what I do. Try it out.
Retailers are very good people. Take a product, they'll look at it. Some won't care whether it's certified or what. When they like it, they'll put it onto the shelf and tell you it's here. We'll pay you
once it's done.
Yeah, but some can be not complicated, but a bit hard to penetrate. They'll ask for standards, which makes sense in the case of foods and beverages. You have to be EBM. You have to have the EBM. Yeah. Then there is when you start to decide, okay, do I need EBM now? Will I need it later? Do I sell it amongst
my friends and family?
Yeah, then you start thinking of the money, because there are levels you will not get to unless you have
real cash. And that's how we become rich. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Now, this is my so just so that we can close that question. So you've said skills. It kind of sounds like you've made experimentation, because you have to create the product that you want, the taste. Then you go and people try it, I guess, the testing phase. And then there's the packaging, right? Yeah. And then there is the market, right? And then you go to market strategy. And then I guess what the last part is, one, you need patient capital, right? So either your own money, or I guess in your case, you had your spouse or your friends, family. And then eventually you then maybe go into finding bigger sources of
money.
So grants. Are there enough grants? Do you think that there are a lot of grants for like stuff like this?
There aren't enough. There should be more.
I mean, that would be fun. That would be that's I think,
at least for me, I think at the level of micro, small, and those ones heading towards medium. Yeah,
there's
grants,
not enough.
Grants very, very important.
Was it hard? I mean, was it hard for you to find the financing once you wanted to expand your product lines?
I think I was lucky there. Now talk about luck. I think I was, because I got a couple of them that I would have done very little without. Because I cannot think of issue, yes, money that we've gotten from family. I also worked for, I stopped working, how many, 2 years ago, full time.
So you're still, and that money you would still reinvest in the business?
Big time. So that money, family money, you cannot jump straight to. I also got a couple of loans, very nice loans, low interest for a startup. Very low interest. Now those ones are.
It's everything.
That's everything.
You know, it kind of sounds, you make it sound hard and easy at the same time.
That's how it is.
Really, right? Like it seems, it seems very logical. You do this, you do this, you do this.
And there are people very important, and there are people who are very important in between there that I haven't talked about.
Who are they?
Business development agencies, the people that help you with the skills,
really?
With the marketing, people who tell you, have you paid yourself? Have you paid yourself as an entrepreneur? God bless some of them that I know. Very good. Marketing, human resource, free knowledge. So those ones are the ones that come in between you, your passion, your idea, your product, your service, and the money. So that when you get the money, you use it appropriately to grow. So,
as I said earlier, your products, I think, can compete internationally. They're as good as any I've tasted. I think, honestly, you know, when you think about some of those big companies that you would be going up against, we talk about like General Mills and Nestle's, those are the like that level, right? I in terms of product for product, taste for taste, I think you compete. And you compete favorably.
Thank you.
And Sam, because you do, do you not think that it's actually time? Because you already compete here in Rwanda, right? So when I go to the supermarket, there are different products, and I will make different decisions based. I'll come to a buying decision based off of many things. There's going to be price, but there's also going to be quality. There's going to be, you know, and consistent quality, as what you said, right? So not just being a good taste now, but even when I buy it next week and the week after that, it's going to keep at that expected quality of product. Now, when I open, you know, these fridges in Sawa City, and I'm choosing my yogurt, there are many, right? Some of them are from Europe. You have American brands, you have Ugandan brands, but I still choose you. Now, it's not just because I know you. It's not because you're a Rwandan brand. It's because the quality is there. Now, you're competing locally, and I think, as you've said, the fact that you're growing your product lines and the amounts shows that you're competing favorably. So, and this is the last question to you. When will I travel? I was in Uganda a while ago. I didn't see your products there. No, I did not. When will I see them in supermarkets in Uganda with proper numbers, right? Not just one little one. I mean, like, what's your expansion plan? I mean, Rwanda right now, we're what, 13 point something million people? It seems like a lot of people, but it's really not, right? There's the East African market that's 100, maybe 200 million people. You know, I want to see even you become a champion, and I'm sure that's something that you want. Do you see yourself, is that a strategy that you have, which is to kind of go into now the export market? One, that's the first question, I guess. And two, if it is the strategy, what does that strategy look like? What is your goal?
Yeah, again, thank you very much for going to the supermarket and opening and choosing our brand over others. And thanks very much to all our customers. But yeah, exporting is something we're looking at, but not now. Why? Because you've said you've gone to supermarkets in Kigali and found our product in the fridges. But I don't know, market share on yogurt, I don't think it's more than 20%. I don't know. So what I'm trying to tell you is,
we're not yet there yet.
We're not yet there. Just the other day, 2 months ago, is when we entered Rubavu and Musanze. Very good customers, and we're doing well there. But we aren't in other districts. We're thinking of Kayonza, thinking of where we have hotels who buy our products. So we're looking at growing in Rwanda now, in terms of growing our capacity, in terms of quantity also. We want to move the plant because the space we have now is not that favorable. So we want to grow. We want to grow now in Rwanda. Grow in terms of revenue, satisfy our customers, because those ones are the ones that give us revenue to help us grow and be able to export. And even if it would be exporting, to be like you were saying, to the countries that we are bordering. So I would say exporting maybe in the long term, 3 to 4 years from now. But now I think we still have a very long way to satisfy the market here.
You still think that there is?
And even then we would focus more on improving our standards, the quality. And other products. There are lots of things that we're still importing, and for no reason.
Like what?
There are lots. Go to the supermarket.
So do you ever see yourself becoming more than, because right now you have it seems like you have 2 product lines, right? So it's the jams, it's the yogurts. Do you see yourself now moving into even other things, other products as well?
Not to say that we'll make them, but we still import a lot of ketchup. We import a lot of mayonnaise. We import a lot of jams. Still import a lot of that. Yeah, so there's opportunity. Not just Ishyo, but...
I mean, for me as a farmer, I want you guys to get more and more, because obviously we're looking for customers. We want customers, and you know, as you get bigger, there's more space for us. There's more opportunities for us to have good customers. Do you ever have a challenge of raw material? So milk and fruits. Is that something that's still a challenge for you, or do you kind of feel that side of the supply chain is okay?
Milk seasonally, yes. For the fruits, our production line on jam is not yet that big, so I wouldn't know. But from experience, when I go to the market in Nyabugogo and I'm buying fruits, watermelons, pineapples, there's a whole other side that's full of things that have gone bad.
But I'm talking about you. So like for you, let's say, is there ever a time when you lack, or you wish that you do not have enough strawberries, for example, or enough mangoes, or enough pineapples for, say, the yogurt line? Or do you feel that, you know what, that's not really a problem? The reason I'm asking is because obviously as the farmers out here who might be listening to this conversation, they are thinking, oh, there's an opportunity here, right? So when somebody is thinking of a choice of, am I going to farm this? Am I going to farm that? Quick question, I'll give you an example. Strawberries.
Yeah, and we use them for our yogurt and in the jam.
Do you guys have enough strawberries?
No.
Okay. Is that a real problem?
That's a real problem for the strawberries themselves, yeah. And I think the reason is maybe for them to grow, the weather is not that good here, but people are growing them even, what do they call it, that process where you grow
greenhouse?
Crops without the soil.
Yes, the hydroponics.
Yeah, so strawberries with luck, but pineapples, there's plenty.
So that's never a problem for you?
Yeah, but the mangoes, yeah, we still import a lot of mangoes.
Really?
So mangoes, that also. For the mangoes, I would say they're very expensive because we import some of them. So if I had you, for example, and you give me a good price.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
We'll discuss after this.
Yeah, we should.
Sharon, I know I had said that this conversation would not be too long, but you've really given me I feel, a bit of a blueprint of, okay, the steps, and I'm really, really thankful because, one, I know that I'm taking you out of your day. You're
no problem.
Mrs. CEO. I appreciate you so much. I am a huge fan. My whole family is a fan. And I know there are a lot of people who are watching or listening who are fans of your product, but never actually knew you. Right? So now they've put a face to the brand, and I thank you so much for availing your time. I've learned so much about your journey. I've learned so much about the business, and it's kind of given me a how-to guide. So maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, I'll start looking for the food scientist,
Yeah.
Help me cook.
Turn your mangoes into.
There you go.
Yeah,
into mango wine.
Thank you.
So Sharon, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sunny, for having them.
Do you want to say a final message to young people who might be watching this, because there are a lot of young people watch this, and a message to them from you?
I would tell the young people, if you dream it, do it. Don't take long thinking how it's going to be done. Just do it. Then the other things will come and find you along the way. And yeah, to all our customers, thank you very, very much. We are what we are because of them. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sunny.
If you enjoyed the conversation today, share your thoughts with us on our social media platforms. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.